Welcome to another episode, everyone. Baby B Braze of Who's fame from DLBloods supposedly was stabbed up on the prison yard by his own homies, by his own faction. Now, there are different reasons floating around as to why he was stabbed up. Not that he was stabbed up, although I did hear someone say, no, he wasn't stabbed up, he was just beat up or whatever. But multiple sources say that Baby B Braze was stabbed up by his own homies and had to leave in the wheelchair. Now, according to Milk 74, he was stabbed up for disrespecting the Hoovers in one of his videos. Now, many people I've seen have different reasons or theories as to why he may have been stabbed up. Some say it was because of his content, or that it could have been because of his content. Really, everyone is just theorizing as to why he was stabbed up. Really, unless you were there on the yard and were a part of it, then you may not know, at least not right now, why it really went down, because it could be a number of things. Now, I spoke on before B Braze being there in high desert and being stabbed up by the Hoovers, even though at the time I did not mention his name. Everyone already speculated and summarized or surmised that I was indeed talking about B Braze. I later on said that I was talking about B Braze. I said that he got airlifted. There was a conflict over whether or not he got airlifted, etc. And that was because, as I reported at the time, he had got a tattoo with an HK on his face, forehead, his neck, wherever. Now, at the time, I thought that he came onto the yard with a tattoo on his face and that the Hoovers removed him from the yard, but that was not true. As I later found out and later reported, he got the tattoo while he was there on the yard. So when he came to the yard, he didn't have his big old HK. But you hit the yard, you have Hoovers there on the yard, and then you go get a tattoo there on the yard with a big ass HK on your face, forehead, neck, wherever it's at, and you come out onto the yard where these Hoovers at. That's not going to stand. That's not going to fly on a level 4 yard. So whatever happened, however it happened, they hollered at him, and that was that. But now, in this situation, supposedly, we're about to get into that and play a clip of what Milk had to say. That it was all over a video that B Braze did where, he was showcasing a HK that he had hit up right there in his cell somewhere. And I guess even the cellie looked at him like he was crazy. And I guess maybe the Hoovers hollered at the Bloods and said, man, this dude tripping, he got to go. Or we going to get him out of here. And that's how it goes there in prison, as I've said many times before. If someone in your car, someone in your faction does something that they're not supposed to do, you go holler at his homies and you give them a chance to rectify it, meaning smash him and get him off the yard. And if they do not do it, then you have to do it. Let's see what Milk had to say as far as to what really happened with Baby B Braze. Who's? I didn't do it. I don't want no trouble P's, it wasn't me and all that. Him. Y'all guy. I don't wish no one getting stabbed, you know what I'm saying, or losing their life or coming close to losing their life. So I don't find any glory in this whatsoever, regardless of what happened or why it may have happened. But let's see what happened and why it may have happened. Okay, so Milk says he had to be rolled off the yard in a wheelchair, that he got the call. Now, as I said, I haven't spoke to anyone myself there in prison yet as to this situation. I will, and I'll find out exactly what happened from their perspective anyway, at least someone that was there. and I'll bring that to you. Right now, Milk say he already got that call from someone, and this is not speculation. This is the call that he got. Well, let's see what he has to say about what went down and why.
Just saying that because you from up over there, or he exposed a lot of people on the who's who. This could be a million other reasons. But look though, I got a video that we about to check out. The reason that he just got yanked on and got moved off of the yard. Let's go.
Oh.
Fair prison to the street. I'm at the pen. Yeah, it is who's on the shore. Yeah, it is who's on the shore. But some of them got a phone. Some of them they try to hide at me on us. So it's like,
Damn. Okay. That threw me a little back too. So he said, yeah, it's Hoover's on the yard, and some of them I done got at. Got at? What you mean you got at him? Let me let him talk.
respect is good. Like, respect is good. Get ran. See what's going on. Come on, man.
Oh, the H whack out.
Big Street. Look. Get ran. See what's going on.
That white light and that wax got him stepping off the track. What's wrong?
Okay, so he had the word bitch right there. Braze did somewhere on his bunk, and according to Milk, he had it blocked off. Well, not according to Milk. I just saw it right there. He had the H. Y'all can't see it because I'm in a damn way, but he had the H crossed out on the word bitch. And so when he's saying, I guess he was live on the video, because someone's obviously saying something or interacting with him. He's saying peace treaty. So I guess someone is saying, man, oh, you peace treating now? Are you peace treating with the Hoovers or whatever? Because he just got finished saying, yeah, I done got at some Hoovers that's here, whatever. They didn't try to get at me or whatever. So but it's all good. It's all respect or whatever. And so they like, oh, so you peace treating. So he said, peace treating? Never. Peace treating? Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then moved out the way so you can see the H crossed out and this and that. So according to Milk, this is what kicked it off. Guess some Hoovers may have seen that, got a hold of that footage, got a hold of that word. Like, man, this dude, hell no. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. Let me say that now. I'm just bringing y'all, absolute speculation on my part. I don't know. When I find out for sure, when I speak to someone, I'm going to let you know what they told me. Someone that was there. But for right now, I'm just informing y'all that Braze, word is, on the street, was stabbed up by his own homies, according to Milk, and the word that he got from a phone call, left in a wheelchair.
Most cases has been turned into a pack. This is the reason that he just got removed off of the yard. He's out of line. We all know that this man is incarcerated. He's not on no regular no prison yard. He's on the level 4. It is real serious up on the yards. And he's getting on the video saying, yeah, he's treating. This Hoover's on his yard. And I didn't try to get at them. They didn't try to get at me. And why are you talking? You supposed to be you see what it is, and he's showing that he got a H whacked out on his wall, y'all. Now that is doing too much. That is woofing. And y'all probably like, well, if the Hoovers feel that type of way, then why they ain't bust the play? Well, that ain't how it work in prison, bro. It don't go like that. You feel me? If I do something to another group of people, they gonna get at my homies, and it's up to my homies to say I did something wrong and I gotta go. Because if they don't do that, then the people that I did something gonna get at me, and then it's gonna turn into an all-out melee. So it don't work like that in prison, bro. I guess the Bloods got approached and they had to make the decision. That's just what I think happened, because that's what happened in prison, bro. But he in there talking too much. He in there off that white lightning, the wax. He feeling himself, bro. And he continued. And at this moment, he knew he fucked up.
Yes, peace treat going on. And I wish it. I wish that everybody could get along. Dead homies and do your thing. I'm not getting along with nothing I'm supposed to get along with, period. Everybody in the world can get along, but I ain't getting along with certain circles on Bloods, period. Anyways.
Oh, he gave him that stare.
Anyways, I ain't getting along with certain shit, period. So it's just like that.
Now what happened right there? Why did old boy pop out the cut like that? Braze didn't know if he was about to get blitzed. He didn't know what was going on in that moment, bro.
He say Braze didn't know if he was about to get blitzed. Yeah, you probably didn't see it. Go check out Milk's video, man. But Braze Sally peeked around the corner when Braze is saying what he's saying right there, which is, I mean, you heard him. Certain groups he's not gonna ever peace treaty with or whatever he's saying right there. Old boy looked at him like, he gave him a cold look though. And that's why Braze looked back at him and like, anyways, like I was saying, well, so old boy basically tried to give him a warning. That's really what that was. That was like, man, you're going too far. You saying too much, bro. We don't do all that on the internet. You in prison. Them dudes on YouTube can pop it all they want on the street and go hide out somewhere. You right here on the yard. And you popping it.
Bro, but old boy in that cell gotta be his homie, probably not from his hood, but he gotta be a blood from somewhere or something, because a person like Baby Braze, he ain't just gonna go in the cell with anybody. I don't think he gonna sell up with no crip. So the dude probably like, man, what is you talking about? You in here running your mouth, bro. You about to get us into a wreck. Like, what is going on? Like, why are you on his phone talking about all this shit, bro? What are you doing? You sound crazy. You woofing. That's probably what he thinking in his head. And you know, he had to pop out like, hey, bro. And he ain't even say nothing. He just looked like he's serious. He just gave him a look like. Now, I got the call that they removed Baby Braze off the yard over these video clips, y'all, of him in there woofing. He's showing the H that he got whacked out on the wall. That is not smooth, y'all. You can't do that, bro. This man is an incarcerated YouTuber serving 2 life sentences and like another 200 plus years. This is why you can't start feeling yourself. You feel me? He started bragging on the money that he was getting. He in there drinking big cups of White Lightning. He got waxed. You know, he in there getting his mind right. He in there getting right. He in there getting lit, mixed. He in there barely can move and thinking shit. Now he get the tripping, bro. He getting into it with people. His ego is getting bigger and bigger. And he overstepping his boundaries. You can't do that, bro. You would be the one person that sink that shit. So before they let you sink that shit, because we don't know what they got going on that yard. It's probably lovely for them, good. They got a program. They feeling, bro. So before they let one individual sink the shit, they gonna get him up off that boat to keep it afloat and going like it was already going, bro. Yeah, now, I got a question. Y'all think Peace, Baby Braze, he gonna go PC? You know, because from what I heard and from what I know, once you get removed off of one yard, when you hit the next yard, they gonna do it again. And if you hit another man,
you know, he said from what he heard and what he know that, you know, that he just asked the question is, you know, is Peace. He says Braze gonna go PC, protected custody, SNY now, because he said from what he knows and what he heard that, you know, once something like this happens on one yard, then it happens on another yard as well. And sometimes that is true, not all of the time, but more times than not, that is true. That it depends, because it depends on what happened as to why you got stabbed and removed from one yard. Of course, if you are, you know, a snitch or a chomo or whatever, you can't go to any other yards. The same thing's going to happen to you. And, you know, but it depends on the car, really. If you ran out on a situation on another yard and, they basically put the word out, man, he can't go nowhere, bro. Anywhere he pull up, get him. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what's going to happen. So it really depends, but not always the case that you can't go somewhere else. It just depends.
They're going to do it again. They're going to keep doing it until they really get you. Like, get you, bro. But in certain situations, he maybe could wiggle back on the main line. I don't know. But do y'all think he going to go 50-50? He going to go PC? He going to go SNY, homie? I don't think he going to go. I don't think he going to go. And I'm being realistic. But I done thought a lot of stuff about people in my life. I'm like, man, he a low. Man, when they say them people be killing off beef, he one of them. They didn't turn rat, weirdo, all type of shit, bro. So you never know at the end of the day. But what do y'all think, bro? What do y'all think about this whole situation? I know it's crazy, right? But, that's just what happens when you in this type of game. And you in the game. You got to stay in your lane, especially when you on the internet and you game. Look, I'm going to have to give Braze a negative 10.9 on the Gilligan scale because he had it good. You feel me? He had started a YouTube channel, a profitable, successful channel from behind the walls, getting subscribers, views, all of that, y'all. He should have kicked back. He should have just chilled, Jack. He wanted to do too much, bro. And it ended up making him crash out. That's what it seemed like. But y'all let me know what y'all think below. And what do y'all give him on the Gilligan scale for this activity? Let me know. And hit the subscribe button. There'll be no unsubscribe return.
All right, so that's what Milk had to say, y'all. And as I said, I don't know. I don't know what happened either. I wasn't there. I don't know but Milk said that, you heard him. He said that he got a call. That this is what the call said. That this is what happened to Braze, that he got yanked on by his own faction, his own car, removed off the yard in a wheelchair. And the reason for that, according to Milk, you just saw the video. The reason for that is because he had the H crossed out on the wall, so forth and so on. And, probably just his content period. And perhaps the Hoovers approached the Bloods. They got a hold of that content, that particular video right there with him saying peace treaty. No, ain't no peace treaty, and moving out the way to show the H crossed out. Again, I don't know what happened or why it was. He's doing all kinds of content, I suppose. And he's been, speaking on a lot of different situations and a lot of different people and maybe getting into it with people. It's just conjecture on I have no idea, but one thing's for sure, apparently, Braze is down. Now, will he go PC? Like Milk said, he doubted. I doubt that as well. Because as I said, something can happen to you on one yard and you can still go to another yard, another level 4 yard, depending on what happened on that 1 yard. Why were you stabbed and removed? Because sometimes you can be removed from a yard, your homies will stab you up just because they hating on you. They don't like you. And then you get somewhere else and the homies love you and embrace you. And if anything, saying when we catch them dudes, we gonna holler at them. Nobody told them they can do that. So as I said, it just depends on the circumstances. In this situation, I don't know. I don't even want to guess whether or not he would have to go PC, because I don't know exactly why they did what they did. So I'm not gonna guess on that. But hey, in closing, Braze, again, stabbed by his own car, his own faction, by the Bloods, who's of who's fame, Baby B Braze, Denver Lane Bloods. once removed or stabbed up in high desert, whatever the damage was. And again, the same thing. But he seems to be a strong individual as far as, I don't see him throwing in the flag, throwing in a white flag, waving a white flag and say, I'm going PC. I've had enough. I got stabbed over here. Now I got stabbed over here by my own homies now. I'm cool. I'm going protective custody. Crazier things have happened, particularly behind those walls. So I don't know, man. But, I don't see that happening myself. But again, what the hell do I know? But again, hey, we got to be careful behind those walls. You get on the phone, you get on the internet, or you say certain shit behind the walls, it can catch up to you. And dudes that get you, no matter who you are, who you think you are, how tough you think you are, how respected you are, how much of a reputable you are, no, they don't care. If you flout the rules and the protocols, if you start talking too much, any of that, they will take you down. Again, whatever happened in this situation is what happened, but you have to be careful. The only remedy, as always, is to stay free. That's the word. Be Braze. Stab off the yard in a wheelchair, leaking. We'll see how this turns up or how this turns out. Keep you updated. Stay free, people.